Mental Health Monday on KCAL 9 is sponsored by Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness.
Well, whether you're traveling for the holidays or celebrating at home, getting together with loved ones can be stressful, right?
Well, the pandemic, politics, and family issues often have a way of creeping in during the holidays, right?
That's right. In this week's Mental Health Monday report, our Serene Branson serves up some advice on having a conflict-free family gathering.
The turkey flag is flying. The feast is being readied as families prepare to gather for the first time in 2 years. On one hand, there's excitement. On the other,
my forecast, it's going to be one of the more awkward of all Thanksgivings.
Encino psychologist Dr. David Swanson says even in the best of times, our feelings about holidays can be conflicted. But now,
we haven't seen each other. We haven't hugged each other. We haven't stood in front of each other.
Since families have last gathered, there have been contentious elections and COVID policies families disagree on.
I think it's very ripe for some big arguments.
That, in addition to those long-standing rivalries.
When we're dealing with our family, a lot of us feel a sense of duty.
To reduce the risk of conflict, consider place cards.
It really does set a nice tone. In addition to that, though, you can start to position people at the table that you know will get along.
To keep the mood upbeat, add questions to your cards.
This gives us an activity to do to break the ice. Again, we might not have seen each other for a really long time. So getting people to open up and talking about their experiences, things they're thankful for, and things that they missed would be a great way to break the ice.
If a squabble breaks out, maybe fueled by liquor, don't ignore it. Research shows it's better to interrupt.
Very oftentimes, neither person wants to back down. If you look at the studies with bullying, for example, if you had two people going at it on a play yard, when a third party gets involved, that situation tends to end within 10 seconds. So the idea here is if you as a host jump in and say, guys, come on, this is making me a little uncomfortable. I love you both. I don't want to see this like turn sour. Can we change the subject? Usually both parties would say, sure, let's talk about something else. And it's a way to diffuse the situation.
To ensure that you leave more thankful than when you arrived, plan ahead for any judgmental encounters.
You're not going to walk away from a party feeling bad about yourself because somebody who's critical was once again critical. You're going to walk away feeling bad when you gave in to the urge to respond and then you did something that was inappropriate. Those are the things we feel bad about.
Well, you just saw David Swanson in Serene's report there, and he's joining us now to tell us more about dealing with holiday stress. Welcome, Doctor. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. Well, let's start with those COVID protocols, specifically what you feel comfortable with, not comfortable with. How do you handle that with family and try to keep everyone safe at the same time?
Yeah. Well, look, if you're the host, it's your responsibility. The responsibility falls on you to create a situation where everybody has a good time. So one of the things we want to do, because this is the first time we've ever had to deal with a pandemic like this, is to reach out to your family, to reach out to the people who are coming over and to ask them, how are you feeling about masks or no masks? How are you feeling about seating inside the home versus like having it in the backyard or having it outside? Really check in with the people who are coming to your place and make sure that you kind of situate everybody so that everyone's comfortable with it. Put your policies out there in advance so people know what they're coming into before they get to your home.
That's smart.
Yeah, really. Dr. Swanson, you touched on this a little bit in our story, but especially right now, people are so divided over politics, COVID vaccines, you name it. How do you prevent or even stop those inevitable arguments?
Well, one of the things we could do from the get-go is to send out an invitation to our guests. So once I kind of know what my COVID policy is going to be in the home, I can send out an invitation that says you are cordially invited to our political-free Thanksgiving dinner. You can kind of situate it in such a way that people know ahead of time that we're here to have fun and to reminisce. But the other thing I think you want to be able to do is to be able to intervene when things go south. So if you find that two people are kind of getting into a debate about something you see going south and not turning back, it's important that you intervene. Now, the way I would do this is I would ask to speak with someone alone. Typically, these situations, they become emotional. And when they become emotional, the ego gets involved. And once the ego gets involved, nobody wants to back down. So intervening in front of everyone is a mistake. Pull the person aside and say, look, I haven't seen you for 2 years. None of us have. We love you. We miss you. Can we just not get into politics just tonight? Really like to avoid that so that we can all have a good time. Can you help me with that? And typically that will resolve the problem.
Yeah, these are really good tips and ideas, really to be, I think a lot of people are going to be using them. A lot of people taking notes in our newsroom, I'm sure.
And remember, family's family, right?
It's true.
So,
it's
let's get
true.
into it, yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. David Swanson, thank you so much once again for your time today.
Thanks, guys.